Zambia has been experiencing adverse impacts of climate change, including an increase in frequency and severity of seasonal droughts, occasional dry spells, increased temperatures in valleys, flash floods, and changes in the growing season. Agricultural and livestock production are largely dependent on rainfall. The country's high rainfall variability and limited irrigation capacity make them vulnerable to climate change. Climate projection in Zambia includes increased in temperature and more extreme weather, intense precipitation, floods and droughts, and increased rainfall variability. Climate changes will have key impacts on agriculture, water resources, human health, ecosystem, energy, and infrastructure if left unchecked. However, many stakeholders have come on board to contribute how the effects of climate change can be addressed. Kagosima Mulowe, Managing Director for EnviroDynamics Consulting Limited, who is also brand ambassador for AgroCare's soil testing technologies in Zambia, condemned forest degradation and burning.
The damage that is taking place to our natural vegetation or our forests, you find that there is a lot of forests which are being cleared for many reasons. One of the reasons being that is agriculture. And in some cases you find that some of the forests are being abused for charcoal production or energy production, and it is a major environmental challenge, and that is something to do with climate change. You find that as you remove vegetation from the land, you end up impacting the soil characteristics. In short, when you remove vegetation, you find that the soils lose their humus, or their natural nutrification or organic manure, which normally nutrifies or enriches the soils.
And Musombo African Heritage Chief Executive Officer Suwiranje Shilando says in an effort to address the effects of climate change, there is need to plant trees, adding that people are advised to plant fruit and nut trees that will be able to generate income.
Plant a fruit and nut tree. So these fruit and nut trees, we are actually campaigning that farmers, individuals, schools can be able to come on board and plant these fruit and nut trees. Now, the value that is going to be there is that, remember, we are talking about deforestation, but at the same time, once we are able to plant these trees, they'll be able to fix our environment. Not only fixing our environment, but they'll be able to produce fruits and nuts. Okay, and now when we look at fruit and nut trees, we are looking at macadamia, cashew nut, seedless grapes, we are talking about avocados, we are talking about mangoes, and etc., etc. So these fruit and nut trees, when we look at them, they are able to produce, they begin to produce in the third year. And in that third year, it means if I've planted probably 20 hectares, I'll be able to harvest quite some tons of those fruits and nut trees.
However, Grassroots Trust founder Rolf Shenton disagrees that cutting of trees has contributed to the climate change effects, who has insisted that when you cut a tree, it will shoot and grow again. Shenton, who took this report into Forest 27 and later proceeded to Lusaka National Park, says no one can kill a tree. He explains that in Lusaka National Park, all trees were cut, but now all the trees have grown again, and there is enough food for animals than in Forest 27. Shenton says that what has contributed negatively to climate change is burning of forests as fire kills trees, and also lack of water preservation.
You can see that most of the leaves of the trees, the plants, the bushes, the grass, everything has been burnt off. So there's very little growth in this forest right now, and it will remain like this until the rain comes. Well into the rains, it won't recover quickly, because a lot of energy from the roots has to be used up to put new leaves and to regrow this area.
So I don't think that we should worry so much about deforestation. It's almost impossible to deforest in Zambia. What we should be doing is managing, instead of burning all this grass here, we use animals as they do here in Lusaka Park, they've stopped using animals. I mean, they've stopped using fire. You can see there's no fire been here for some time. They've started putting animals, and the animals are converting this into more plants. So we replace fire with animal.
In response to this, Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Collins Nzovu, says in order to address all the challenges that comes with climate change, there is a need for strengthened global partnerships and renewed commitment to accelerate climate change financing, adding that accelerating financing efforts on climate, land and biodiversity is critical to ensure the country achieve aspiration for a green economy. Sokos Vista Banda, ZTV.